Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. All right, another episode going into news and prophecy, linking the things that are happening worldwide, all right, to the Holy Scriptures via biblical prophecy. All right, so that the faithful remnant elect can know that the words of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, are faithful and true, and be built up and rooted for the great and dreadful day, all right, that is near, all right. Jacob's trouble, in which the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times, all right, and Lord willing, we're covered. Also, here to condemn the beast system headed by Babylon the Great, the NATO, the EU, as well as those who are joined unto them. All right, as the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world. Okay, also condemnation to 2/3 of our own people, all right, who are a part of the problem, all right, who are not going to repent. And as the scriptures say, who are natural brute beasts made to be taken, who believe in this system, all right, and who want, all right, the biblical Edomites to continue to rule and not Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, along with the 144,000, which is the next government and rulership that is set to rule the entire planet Earth, and that will be forever. All right, we're living in the final stages of the last rulership of the heathen nations. As we said, that will be ruled by Esau, Edom, in particular things that we have warned of through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, starting with our apostles and elders, all right, and the men that have labored before them, all right, for the truth to get to the point where it is in the earth, being spread throughout the four corners of the earth, particular things and talking points and prophecies that we've been speaking of and that they spoke of when we first came in and entered into their labors. They're playing out, all right, as the book of Habakkuk tells you, all right, the vision is for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak. All right, and we told you in order for them to bring in their NWO, they're going to have a large amount of false flags and things that are going to be used to manipulate the minds of the people and trick them, all right, into giving themselves over and bowing their souls to this agenda under the guise of help, you know, comfort, security, and so many more things. As the scriptures say, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. And their plan for world domination is ultimately going to be fulfilled, all right, with what John the Revelator saw, all right, to where they can ultimately track every individual internally, all right, and we'll get into that either in this or the next lesson, because there's a lot going on. So I wanted to start with this particular situation, which there's a lot of things happening. Remember, in one of our previous videos, you know, we showed you how the UN, all right, which is ultimately the elite hidden under that particular name. I believe a brother posted how that was started by, you know, the Red Shield people, all right, the Rothschilds. And that name actually means Red Shield, all right, which the Heavenly Father put the spirit on them to name themselves that. I believe they have another name. I can't think of it right now. The apostles always go into it, but the Rothschild, that means a red shield. And we know Esau, all right, is the red people, all right, and under that order, the UN pretty much, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can pull that up. The UN, okay, let's pull that up. The UN declared, you know, a war on dangerous, okay, sea theories, conspiracy theories, all right, and they ultimately are attacking people who have the talking point, all right, that the world is secretly manipulated by a global elite, See, we brought this out, all right, and from that point, you've seen, all right, the particular things that they're setting up to ultimately bring an all-out assault and war on the people. Okay, and the way that they're doing it is divide and conquer. You know, you have these two talking points and arguments between two parties of people as we go to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Two horns like a lamb, but they spake as a dragon. We'll get that later on in the lesson. Okay, but you know, the Democratic and Republican parties have been used as catalyst, all right, to bring particular talking points, arguments, protest, okay, and those particular arguments and talking points are going to be linked to groups and individuals of people, okay, and eventually civil war is going to break out, okay, and the government, the powers that be, will be able to play the role of the victim, all right, and be able to pass legislation to go after and attack who they really want to attack, and that's ultimately the elect, the faithful woman, the remnant, okay, which in order for the NWO to work, all right, they have to put a stop to this testimony that is being preached, all right, but they know who we are, so they can't just come directly at us, all right, they have to, you know, use witchcraft and manipulate the minds of the people to cry and accept these agendas, all right, because as one guy said, pretty much, I forget his name, he said, you know, when you deal with cancel culture, all right, that is the, you know, the groundwork for decrees being laid for them to make people disappear. And they set up these particular, you know, idols in pawns, which you know, are a part of their plan in a whole grand scheme of things, like Donald Trump, you know, Alex Jones, and others. All right, they use these particular pawns, okay, and they have particular talking points that they can link, right, to a large, you know, arrangement of people. All right. And the Hebrew Israelites will eventually be linked to this kind of behavior, as you see on the screen. OK, this happened a few days ago. An armed man was killed trying to breach an Ohio FBI office. OK, and we'll play some clips on it. But one of the talking points of this guy, okay, as you see this article here, a man who attempted to break into an FBI office appears to have posted his planned attack, all right, on Trump's Truth Social, all right. So they're linking domestic terrorism, all right, to, you know, people who post things on the internet, people who are fed up with the government, okay, are getting ready to be labeled the enemy. If you have like a nationalist ideology to where, you know, you want your people, you know, to have, you know, particular rights and civil liberties above a global agenda. All right. All of these things are systematically being linked. OK, to where particularly if you have a talking point against the alphabet people. OK, if you're manly, if you put women in their place. All right. That's what Trump's, you know, term was used for. OK, and they were able to cancel him off of social media. All right. And if you look at what's happened of late, they raided, OK, his house. OK, which we know and believe through the spirit it's all set up. OK, now they say he had some secret, you know, documents or whatever. All right, but this is pretty much setting the stage. As we told you, cancel culture leads to what? People disappearing. Okay, so the FBI, okay, raided this guy, and we'll show you there's another, okay, particular group where the FBI raided, okay, And when you listen to the talking points, this can all be linked eventually to the Hebrew Israelites. You see? But they're systematically putting all of these things in place. All right. And they systematically have all of these pawns who just pop up out of nowhere. They've been around for years, but they're popping up out of nowhere, and they're being used, okay, to promote, all right, a mindset towards a particular kind of people, which ultimately they want to come after those who have the testimony. Because we'll show you when you listen to this guy, all right, what is he saying? You know, he's speaking, you know, on how, why should Americans or Jake, you know, be mad at Russia when their own government is the ones responsible for destroying them. And those are particular things we say to Jake, you see? But we'll get to that in just a minute. But going back, all right, and this is ultimately the wicked sharpening his sword. All right, remember the sword is not just a physical weapon and the military and the, you know, the gun, the bombs. All right, their propaganda, you know, their media, how they're able to manipulate minds is also a part of their sword. Okay, it says an armed man was killed after trying to breach an FBI office. Now, we're not going to read into all of this, but he's labeled an extremist. All right, and real quick, let me look this up. Just type in conspiracy. Bam. Okay. Basically, on some forum, you know, this guy was posting what he was going to do. This guy was supposedly there on January the 6th, you know, when the Capitol building was raided, which that was all bullshit. Just be honest. That wasn't no real serious. These are people who so-called broke into the Capitol building and took pictures of themselves and so-called looted and raided. And they were showing that the police were letting people in. It's all fake, man, which is everything else is fake, too. Like everything that was tied to this guy, Alex Jones, with the Sandy Hook situation. As soon as that situation happened, there were videos showing, all right, particular crisis actors and everything. But they were able to take the fact that he had a theory about it, Alex Jones, okay, and openly buck break him, all right, make him guilty and make him to pay millions of dollars to this particular family or these particular families who were hurt by his theories. So this is all setting the stage for them to ultimately come after a particular kind of people and set what? Unrighteous decrees. Nothing more. Okay? It's all ultimately divide and conquer, fear tactics, okay, and its attack on the mental. Because at some point, people are going to be crying for people who talk like this and people who believe these things to be put to death, silenced, taken out of our society so that we can move forward with our agenda. Okay? So one of the talking points in this interview on this article is that these particular comments, okay, when they stormed the building, his plans, yada, yada. This guy who supposedly raided the FBI building and who was shot and put to death, you know, apparently he, you know, was a part of people, you know, galvanizing people to attack the Capitol building on January 6th. Okay, which that 6 should let you know what it's all about. Anyway, and that happened in ancient Rome, all right, the Capitoline building, all right, which is what the Capitol building is patterned after. As we know, this is a revival of ancient Rome. It was attacked back then. You can look that history up. It says, well, some of it is happening on extremist forums. You see the terminology, extremist. But I should say it is not just the fringe making this kind of extreme rhetoric. Okay. Former White House advisor Steve Bannon went on Alex Jones' show this week. All right, the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and he compared the FBI to the Gestapo himself. And we know the FBI has done evil and wickedness. Okay, how do you think drugs and guns and everything got into the neighborhoods? They openly admit these things. Okay, but now that they're being outed, they're ultimately getting ready to pass laws that anyone who speaks against them in these particular agencies is going to, be labeled extremist and tie you to conspiracy theories. Okay, he said without any apparent basis that the government might actually be trying to, all right, get Trump up out of there. Okay, and this is all rhetoric. Okay, and what we'll do is I'm gonna play this video real quick. This is off of a time for judgment. All right, Wake Up America. This is the next phase of their plan to divide and conquer. Okay.
That search of the former president's Florida home, it has angered many of his supporters, including a man who tried to force his way into an FBI field office in Cincinnati yesterday. Police say the man was armed. After a car chase, he was shot and killed. Social media posts thought to be from the suspect show he may have been motivated by the search of Mar-a-Lago. Senior investigative correspondent Catherine Herridge has more.
The situation began around 9 a.m. Thursday when the suspect, wearing body armor and carrying a nail gun and long gun, tried to breach the FBI's visitor screening center in Cincinnati. Sources tell CBS News the suspect is Ricky Schiffer. The FBI says agents confronted the suspect before he fled, leading to a car chase.
The pursuit came to an end and he stopped his vehicle. When he got out, that's when shots were exchanged between officers and the suspect.
After an hours-long standoff, law enforcement officials say they shot and killed the suspect.
Situations like today are unfortunate. They're unfortunate for a community. They're unfortunate for those involved in it.
After the FBI searched Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home Monday, posts believed to be from the suspect encouraged people to go to Palm Beach, where Trump's estate is located, and kill federal agents if they get in the way.
See, they're saying that the people who support Trump, ultimately are calling for people to kill these agents, these FBI agents. All right, so there you go. Now they're being able to, present themselves as the victim. You're the villain and the victim. Okay? And now the new boogeymen, all right, with the narrative that's being painted is people who believe in conspiracy theories, people who have a particular mindset which can be linked to Trump. And that's what this pawn was used for, because he's a part of the whole agenda. All right, he's just used as a pawn in the whole grand scheme of things. All right, to link everybody to a particular ideology and talking point. He's a nationalist. He called for America to be made great again. Okay, well, you have people who call for, the blacks, so-called blacks. Okay, they need attention. They need to be built back up. You have people who believe in nationalist ideologies, which a nationalist calls for their own to be helped. Okay, then you have the globalist, all right, which ultimately is the NWO. Trump was supposed to be against the NWO and believed, in all of these theories linking, to the pizza gate. All of these various different things were tied to this guy. Okay, and they were able to cancel him. You see, now you see all of these things happening, all right, in the grand scheme of things. And this is ultimately the two horns like a lamb, all right, because you have particular people who's on his side, all right, and then you have the I believe the left, all right, the Dems, the Democrats, all right, who have their agenda, and people are screaming and crying and fighting on both ends. You see, in the grand scheme of things, they'll be able to link everybody in some shape, form, or fashion to these particular talking points. All right, it's a wicked. All right, but it's wickedly genius. But the beauty of it is everybody sees it. Okay, it's being called out not only by the elect, all right, but as you can see here, this guy, a time for judgment of various people on the internet are onto them. As the scriptures say, in the fullness of their sufficiency, they're going to be in straits. Okay. And every move they make, they're being outed. This is why they're getting ready to ban the internet. Okay? And they're getting ready to make it illegal for you to speak against them or have a belief against them, have a belief outside of their science. All of these things are coming down the pipe. And the MOTB, the groundwork for that to be pushed here in America in total surveillance is here. And all of these things are going to be used in the grand scheme of things for those agendas to silence the elect and ultimately be able to move forward out of chaos with their order out of chaos. Okay? They're creating a toxic, chaotic environment, okay, in which they're going to show up with the solution. Okay, so let's listen to some more of this.
Posts that appear to be from the same man claim he was at then President Trump's January 6th speech on the ellipse.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And later at the Capitol as the riots unfolded. Thursday morning, a user with the same name as the suspect posted, "If you don't hear from me, it is true. I tried attacking the FBI." Earlier this week, FBI Director Christopher Wray condemned calls for violence against Bureau agents.
And any threats made against law enforcement, including the men and women of the FBI, are deplorable and dangerous.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Catherine Herridge.
So now the FBI is the victim. You know, because this guy who's a pro-Trump, supporter put on the internet, "I'm going to attack these MFers." And he did it, and he got put to death. Okay, do you see the mind, okay, the mental that they're pushing, okay? And this is how they operate.
In Washington.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. I was going to originally put this video and record this video for the website, but I decided I'm going to try to do this on YouTube because I think people out there need to understand what's happening, especially young people who might see this stuff and think it's real and then actually know beforehand it's going to happen, so they could realize that it is all scripted, because the writing was on the wall the second these stories came out about Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago and the FBI raid and then the reaction between the left and the right. These things are all obviously scripted, and then you could guess beforehand when this stuff happens, or I should say, you can guess beforehand when this occurred, what was going to happen next. And I can't put the articles up on the screen because of the words, the algorithm will get triggered, but I know a lot of you just listen to these videos a lot of the times, like their podcast, so I'll put pictures of what's relevant to the topic, but I can't put the actual articles. But I'm sure a lot of you heard about what happened at the FBI yesterday at one of the FBI offices in Ohio. Apparently a guy went in there armed to go after the FBI. His motive? Because the FBI went and raided Donald Trump. Could you make it up? I mean, who didn't see this coming, right? The second that this stuff happened in Florida, this was the first thing I think anybody who was awake was thinking about, that they're going to start taking these government agencies like the FBI, the CIA, and the IRS, which I'll get into, and using them as targets for MAGA. This is going to continue to create this illusion that people who are Republican are terrorists and extremists and are no longer a part of this country. And this is...
And it's not just people who are Republicans. Remember, it's the talking points as well, okay, that are tied to that. Which, when you go into a lot of those talking points, you'll find out that they can be linked, okay, to God, okay, to manhood, okay, anti-alphabet, what they'll call anti-alphabet rhetoric, okay, nationalism, and many, many more things, okay? So, let's keep going, and then we'll get a few scriptures.
Of course, will lead to more of the Civil War, which will eventually occur, which will eventually cause these states or territories, everything will be divided, everything will be changed. Now,
yep, and that's what this is leading to, Civil War. Also, let's get here. This is what they're doing. This is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? They're framing mischief by a law. Okay? They're getting ready to pass unrighteous decrees via mischief. Okay? They're up to no good. Okay? And all of this stuff is really BS. Okay, now with these, attacks and with the stuff that happens, there are people who, in their ignorance, see these things and say, well, I'm going to go do that too. I'm going to join this party. I'm going to join this belief system. I'm going to join that. And they're all playing into the hands, okay, of the powers that be. All right. Even in Israel, you got people who walk around showing themselves with 2, 3, 4 guns. You be like, nigga, how many guns do you need? Okay. And at the end of the day, the elect are going to be justified, but all of these things are going to be used. And we have told you this for years. Okay. They're framing mischief by law. Remember, okay, this came out in 2013, the 72 types of Americans that are considered potential terrorists under government documents. Okay. It says, are you a conservative, a libertarian, a Christian, a gun owner? Are you opposed to 187s? You see, I highlight that wording there. The A to the B to the O to the R, TIONs. If you're against those, are you against globalism? All right. Which pretty much the UN, they're getting ready to come down hard on people who are against globalism, communism, illegal immigration. Okay. Which, that's the whole, the Republican talking point, whereas the Democrats are like, bring them in. It's just a divide and conquer at the end of the day. All right. As the scriptures do say this as well. Okay. Revelation 13. We brought this out yesterday at camp. Okay. And pretty much we're going to be speaking on these things until the Heavenly Father, allows the power that be to pass legislation for us not to, all right, and take us off of the internet, off of the streets. Until then, we're going to be preaching and prophesying, man. It's Revelation 13 and 11. I beheld another beast come up out of the earth, America, Babylon the Great, which is the revival of the first beast, Rome. And he had 2 horns like a lamb. All right, his 2 political parties. Democratic, Republican. In ancient Rome, it was the plebeians and the patricians. Okay. But ultimately, as you can see, these 2 parties are used to gather all manner of mindsets. Okay. And put labels on people. Remember, the so-called white man is known as the accuser of the brethren. All right. He's going to put you in these categories. And him coming down with great wrath, as a matter of fact, let's get it here in Revelation 12. Revelation 12 and 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, our power and the power of his anointed, Yahweh Shai, for the accuser of our brethren. And that's ultimately what these heathen are fighting against. They're trying to undermine, okay, the Most High's determination to set up Hamashiach Yahweh Shai as the ruler of the earth. All right. And he's going to establish a government known as the throne of David. That's what's coming. That's why the scriptures say Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, the throne of David, the tabernacle of Jacob, the tabernacle of David, is the beginning of it that followeth. See? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And everything he does is used as an accusation against you Israelites. Okay? Well, he's getting ready to come with a high-level accusation against you. That's why you should read Psalms, the 51st chapter. After all of the great men of the Lord were named from Sirach, Sirach, the 51st chapter. But when you start at Sirach, the 44th chapter, it's the great men whom the Lord raised up to be leaders unto our people. And then at the very end, all right, in Sirach 51, he prays because there's going to be an accusation against their sacrifice. Okay, and this is what they're doing. They're setting it up to justify, all right, making us disappear. All right, the enemy is going to come like a flood, as the scriptures say. Okay, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Okay, let's get Isaiah 59 as well. Okay. Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west. And what is causing our people to fear the Lord? Let's get Psalms 40 real quick. Okay. Psalms 40:3. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear. Many people are repentant and shall trust in the name of Yahweh, which is the last thing the elites want. And that new song, okay, when you read about the new song in Revelation, the 14th chapter, which will be sung by men on earth through the Holy Spirit sent from above, okay, the talking point, a part of the new song, all right, is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, which the angels speak through men on earth, saying with a loud voice, if any man, because it's not, literal invisible angels down here preaching. These angels are speaking through men on earth. And what is it saying? If any man worship the beast in his image and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. See that? So there's going to be a talking point against the plans of the powers that be. And that's all. That's what the new song is. It's all fulfilled in the new song, telling our people to fear the Lord. Okay, come back to him. Leave off from this world. Leave off from Esau. He's a liar, exposing him for who the devil he is and speaking against his system. All right, the ways of this system. All right, which is all now being fulfilled in their technology. Okay, and that's going to be what led to the charagma. So the new song is leading to many of our people, the elect remnant, which is a small amount compared to the whole, as we are as the sand of the sea, to fear the Lord and trust in the Lord. That's via the new song being sung. So Isaiah 59:19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west. This is where the bulk of the prophets have been raised up, right here in the northwestern hemisphere. And his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh, all right, shall lift up a standard against him. Okay? So this particular testimony is getting ready to be attacked because it's causing really all kind of friction in their plans. Okay? So this particular beast, America, Babylon the Great, which would be, also accompanied by, vassals and subordinate states, which is the EU, NATO, that makes it a beast system. All right. They're using this whole Democratic and Republican thing, okay, as a means to accuse people, as a means to draw you in to their plan. So he has two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So eventually, all right, pressure from above, pressure from below, and the Hegelian dialect leads to what? Order out of chaos, all right? They're going to come with draconian measures, which dragon goes back to Draco, or draconian, which goes back to an Athenian ruler who was known, and that's Athens, Greece, all right, which we're in, Babylon, a great America, all right? It's the revival of Rome, but it's also the revival of the Greeks. Remnants of that culture and those ways are here as well. See? So out of Athens eventually came democracy, right? And democracies lead to tyrannies. Okay, so unrighteous decrees in the form of draconian measures are getting ready to be brought on the earth. And we see it being manipulated into the minds of the people to accept these things. This is why we read, okay, that they're framing mischief by laws. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? This is why we should separate from this man. He hasn't changed. He's the same devil he was. He's the same devil he is today that he was yesterday. Even worse now because he has more power, which frameth mischief by a law. Let's read this in the NLT. Okay. Can unjust leaders claim that God is on their side? Now, on the dollar, you see Annuit Conceptus, which when you go into it, is basically the gods have granted our cry ultimately. The gods have, granted us permission, you see, to establish what? A Nuvis Seclorum order, the NWO. It's been on the dollar the whole time. Now, the dollar has done its job. They're getting ready to do away with the dollar. This is why your boy Biden, just passed, which we'll get into it. Okay. He just signed this whole, cash-free CBDC, all right, ordeal, which is set to come December 13th. All right. And that number 13 is a big part of their rhetoric. Okay? And the Most High is not on their side. All right? They've been deceived to believe that he is through what? Satan. All right? Leaders who decrees permit injustice. See, they're trying to what? Shut off and cut off, all right, the your everyday civil liberties and rights. Okay? And you're going to come up under a new banner where you won't have anywhere to run or hide. Okay, and people like us won't even make it today. They plan on silencing us and Xing us out completely. Talking points of God, Savior, freedom. Okay, on down the line, years later, these words won't even be in existence. Newspeak. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. See, out of all of this chaos, okay, they plan on linking the elect in unto condemnation. And we see it coming from a mile away, and we've been telling you this is why guys like Vocab are set up and so forth. Let's keep listening.
That's what this is really about. That's why they're doing this. So as soon as the thing happened with Trump in Florida, this guy decides to go. So then you get the other narrative, which if you've listened to me for a while, I always bring this narrative up, especially over on the website. And that's the narrative about what's occurred beforehand with the guy who apparently went to the FBI headquarters. He was posting on his social media platform encouraging violence against the agency. Surprise, surprise, Sydney, right? Who didn't see this narrative coming? This is about censorship, of course, and then giving them more power and control over what people post online. Because remember, this is all about gaining control. They create these false events to give them a reason to say, we have to take more control. The people ask for it. They come in and that's what they want in the end, is to have the control. They want to make sure that the people are asking for it, and they are. Because people are going, well, what can we do about this? If people are going to post on social media encouraging violence, then we need to have more censorship online. Exactly. And that censorship fits, inside of a box, right? Because you could define censorship and say, well, I mean, we'd all agree if somebody was online saying that they wanted to go and commit a violent crime, that they should, the police should probably come to their door. But that's not what this is about. This is about obviously taking that and then stretching it so that they can look at people like me and you who are just expressing our free speech and saying that that's also dangerous and also violence because it can provoke it. And then it continues to filter down, the same as hate speech.
He gets it. All right? What's wrong with you other Christians? All right? He gets it. Okay? And we've been saying this for years. Anyone who's been listening to us for years, no, we didn't steal this from him. No, these Christians got a lot of their talking points from us. But either way it goes, it doesn't matter. Okay? Because the Lord said he's going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh to expose particular things in these latter days. All right? But the ones who have the new song are linking everything together according as thus saith the Lord. All right? People like this, they can expose particular things and they see particular things, and that's good. But when it comes to the fullness of the gospel, the understanding of the Gentiles, the understanding of the Edomites, okay, the 12 tribes, they ain't got that. All right? But we still can use these particular talking points to help expound and to edify to you brothers and sisters out there. And he's making perfect sense. This is what the hell they're doing, man. Okay? And they use their media, okay, to further these particular mindsets. Check this out. This is off of the To Through and Information page, which you should be subscribed. It's one of my other pages. They are pushing civil unrest.
Telling ABC News, there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources say there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources also...
Now, the whole QAnon thing, goes into people who, speak and believe that there's pedophile rings and all of that. They've systematically weaponized it to where if you're bringing out particular talking points that are really true, okay, you can be tied to domestic terrorism. Okay, and we continue to bring these things out to warn you. All right, also, we have to speak these things into existence. Everything we've been telling Esau he's going to do, has not he done it? Has not the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua been faithful and true? Okay, we have no reason to look back. Furthermore, this world is getting completely sick and satanic beyond how bad it was a year ago or a month ago. It's getting worse. Now it's okay to be a pedo. They're openly, okay, because they'll come with this garbage. If you believe in that, then you're a problem. You're stupid. You're a sea theorist. But at the same time, we're openly seeing a system to where these behaviors are being pushed. As a matter of fact, let's go here.
Folks, my name is Miranda. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. And I want to talk about minor attracted persons because they are probably the most vilified population of folks in our culture. And most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them.
That's all we need to hear. Sick. And see, everybody, when we brought out an ancient law on how things were handled in the ancient world, with women being given into marriage 12, 13, 14, we were demonized, called pedophile. But where are the Israelites speaking out on this stuff? Where are you Christians speaking out on this stuff? See, it all starts with civil rights, using you so-called blacks. Then it goes to GAY rights. Okay, it's always off of the back of you jakes. BLM has led to this. Back in the civil rights, okay, it led to this. It was all a guise of the alphabet community hidden under civil rights. And when you look at all of those civil rights leaders, they were all alphabet. And those were your leaders. Bayard Rustin, okay, and the rest of them, Alex Baldwin, they were all a bunch of flaming moles, even the women. And they were able to use you, so-called blacks, as a catalyst and pawn, okay, to where now everybody can fight and cry for rights. Now, okay, now you have the minor attracted persons. They have a voice. They have a voice. But if you speak out against it, you can be put into a category like this. Okay, and this was uploaded by GMS Watchman. I just put it on my page. Okay. This place is getting ready to be destroyed. Yeah, where's Vocab Malone? Okay. Where's Vocab Malone? Where are you Israelites who do videos on us all goddamn day? Well, where's your hatred and exposing of this devil and what they're doing? Remember what the Lord did to Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
Telling ABC News, there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources say there's been a strong reaction to the...
Let's look up this, forget how it's, let's look up what this means. So it can just show you how much of the devil these people are, man. Okay. As you can see, QAnon is an American political conspiracy theory and political movement, okay, that has a false claim made by an anonymous individual, okay? And the claim is ultimately that this place is ran by a big number of pedos, Satan worshiping, as you can see here, Satan worshiping pedos. Now, when you look at the vibration of this world and the system of where it's going and how it's attacking children, that shouldn't be far-fetched, right? But they are able to take and make this party up and label them. So even us, as we're crying out, that's one of our major cries against pedos, right? They can now label you and link you to that talking point and say you are a sea theorist and eventually a domestic terrorism, and you're the problem. Now, real quick, I have this article here with 5 core beliefs of this, okay, sea theory, okay? And listen to it. It says, this, just call it QAnon, began less than 3 years ago. It's already gathered a religious following. We break down the central beliefs of the sprawling sea theory. All right, when you go to it, started in 17. All right, a lot of it started with, outing, the Clintons and, the evil that these people do. You have people on, social media talking about they rape and eat, babies and all of that type of stuff. All right, which when you get in the Holy Scriptures, the Canaanites, all right, which this is the modern day Canaan as well, the ones who inhabited the Holy Land before we moved it, this was what they were doing. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's get that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter or the 12th chapter. Okay, showing you that if that which is then is now, okay, these things are taking place as well, because the same gods that ruled back then are here now. Now, this is Wisdom of Solomon 12:3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers, Joshua, Caleb, the angel that followed them, the old inhabitants of the Holy Land, whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh and feasts of blood. See, they outlaw you to talk about these things when the whole, I can't say it, Chrome came out, okay, how they, and they're openly telling you now, all right, how they, drink, all right, the BLOOD of, young, okay. we told you that, all right, we've been telling you that's what they're doing. They hide it in their movies and their cartoons, but they make it illegal if you bring it out. Videos were taken down that had that talking point. Anyway, with their priest out of the midst of their adulterous crew, and the parents that helped killed, okay, with their own hands, souls destitute of help. So this is the vibration that rules this current world, and the people that currently inhabit the Holy Land. This is what stuff they do, and the people who run this world, right? So they've been able to formulate a group, okay, that speaks against stuff like this, okay, and now whoever talks about stuff like this, they can link you into that group. And now, as we're getting ready to show you in the news, this group, okay, is associated with various talking points that's leading people to attack the government. Okay, but the 5 claims is an evil cult is ruling the planet, right? There's a ruling class of elites, all right, aka the Illuminati, which the scriptures speak to all of these things, right? Look at the name that was mentioned. Now, when you look at the UN and what they're going to crack down on, Okay, how the UN said they're going to crack down on people in these talking points. This family, as we're pointing to, were mentioned that you ain't going to be able to bring this family up no more. This is where all of this is leading to, because they're what? Esau is being made bare. As a matter of fact, let's get that too. Okay, I've made, let's get Jeremiah 49 real quick. In the 10th verse, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. All right. And the scriptures talk about how Lucifer, all right, the bearer of the light, which is speaking to the elites. It's not talking about no mythical creature. Okay. When you read Isaiah, the 14th chapter, okay, this chapter starts out talking about the fall of the king of Babylon. It calls him the wicked. All right, you keep reading. Okay, it calls him Lucifer, which is what? The light bearer, Hayallah. Okay, and what does Illuminati mean? Bearers of the light. Okay, and falling from heaven means you're falling from your rulership. And we have lessons going into all of this. But this is what's happening on the planet Earth. Esau's being made bare. He's being uncovered. He's being cast down. Okay, so he's getting ready to formulate decrees, okay, using people he set up as a catalyst to attack these talking points, just so he can stop the truth. All right, then they link it to Trump being a hero. The Democratic Party has sinister intentions, which gives you this left-right paradigm, all right, two horns like a lamb. And the proof is in the pudding, all right, that all of these people are down with something evil, all right, and wicked, all right, Epstein, all right, all of the both Democrats and Republicans was with that guy. They're all down, but they use particular of him, all right, to ultimately formulate their agendas. Okay, they want us divided. All right, that's one of the talking points. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, we'll start over. This is all for a reason.
Tell ABC News there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources say there's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums.
Sources also telling ABC News there's been a strong reaction from some extreme groups online, including QAnon and other groups.
There's been a strong reaction to the raid on extremist and QAnon-related forums,
including those that were active before January 6th.
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
Including those that were active prior to January 6th.
Involved in the January 6th insurrections,
including those that were active prior to the January 6th riot.
Some have been calling for violence and even a civil war.
Some of them include calls for violence and even a civil war.
Some of them include calls for
violence in online forums
and even civil war.
This was the top comment on the search on the pro-Trump site The Donald last night. Quote, lock and load with references to a civil war.
Talking very violently about civil war.
Searches for civil war spiked.
They're talking about civil war. Civil war. Civil war.
Civil.
See how they're drilling this into the minds of the people? Okay? And it is going to be a civil war. See? Now, we ain't calling our people to go out and fight. Okay, but these things are coming. As a matter of fact, I have a video on this page. It's always hard to find a video, but I'll pull it up in just a minute. You know, what a brother in Vegas uploaded. Okay, that these Trump supporters are getting online saying, "Look, they let's fight." Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute, but as you can see here in their news, they're able to drill these talking points in your head. Let's get the book of Psalms. All right, 140:1. Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Okay? Because although they're not saying Hebrew Israelite, okay, clearly we can be linked. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Okay? using one man, Trump. Now you see Alex Jones. Okay? Then you have the other aspect of the freaks and, you know, the do as thou wilders and the wicked, which all of them are wicked, but these two ideologies are clashing. And through playing on emotions, all right, the alphabet people, they're gonna say these people gotta go. The people on this side are gonna say these people are the problem. Then you have all of these other issues that they're just throwing out there, and it's gonna lead to what? Bringing an order out of the chaos. All right, this is a violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart continually are they gathered together for war. What did we just read in Psalms 94? Okay, the throne of iniquity, which frameth mischief by a law. They gather themselves together, Psalms 94 and 21, against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Okay, so if you are crying out, using the Bible to cry out against wickedness, okay, you're crying out against pedos and all of the evil that's going on, all right, they have a category they can put you in to condemn you. But Yahweh is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity. All right, that's why they're in straits now. And shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, Yahweh our God shall cut them off. All right, that's why it says in Psalms 37:7, rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because it's working. It seems to be working, right? Because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. These are wicked devices. Psalms 140:2, all right? Who imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Now, this word sharpened in the Hebrew, okay, is shanan. All right, shanan. To sharpen, to teach diligently. Okay, so they're putting things out diligently in the news, which is witchcraft. And the news is known as a medium. That's why you have the media. Medium is ultimately an intercessor. This is how they bring you over to Satan. This is how they use fear tactics. This is how they implement and implant ideas and thoughts into your head, which control how you react. They become a god to you. This is why you have to have the Holy Scriptures, all right, to pretty much level everything that's happening out, because you'll be driven everywhere and mad by the Edomite. To sharpen, to whet, to teach, to be pierced. They're trying to pierce your mind, but here you see figuratively to inculate. To inculate. When you look up the word inculate, it says to impress something upon the mind of another by frequent instruction or repetition, to instill. See that? To indoctrinate. So what we just saw them pushing in this particular clip, okay, is what? Okay, the particular people who believe in, you know, and they made it a point to link it to this QANON. They made it a point to link that to terrorists, to Trump, to people online. Boom. It's the talking point. This is what they're pushing. Okay? Let's go back here real quick.
They want to bring in, you know, and redefine what hate speech is. Anybody could say that something's hate speech. Somebody could say that I'm crazy. Couldn't I define that as hate speech? Oh, he's a crazy conspiracy theorist. Oh, well, it really hurts my feelings. It makes me really depressed. So couldn't I, you know, I could say that and then say that it's hate speech. Obviously I wouldn't, but who can? Anybody could, but it's just their definition of what hate speech is, their definition of what dangerous is. And anything that's dangerous to them only has to do with people who are questioning what they're doing and exposing what they're doing, which is exactly what me and you are doing in this time period. So the funny part about it is you see an article like this about how this guy posted online on Trump's social media platform encouraging people to take violence against the agency. So why didn't the FBI step in then? Because isn't that what we're supposed to believe the Central Intelligence Agency's doing? I mean, we know that they're censoring free speech on YouTube and other platforms just by deleting channels, demonetizing them, shutting them down. Are they monitoring people who are literally putting words in, like, let's go shoot up, or let's go... I would think that they are, because we're told that that's what the FBI and the CIA and the NSA do, is that they're there to protect us, so they monitor these things. But then somehow these events occur at schools, and then they tell us that the guy posted stuff online, and then this event occurs, and they tell us this guy posted stuff online, but nobody's intercepting it when they easily could. That's because the government and the FBI are behind these events, and the CIA.
So there you have it. All right, now let's go here real quick. Okay, let's go here real quick to this article. All right, this is from 2013. You know, the 72 types of Americans that are considered potential terrorists. All right, if you believe in sea theories, you know, if you're a Christian, all right, which that can link over to the Israelites. If you believe in the Bible. Okay, see how this all is tying in? Those who talk about individual liberties, nationalism. Trump was a nationalist. Those who advocate for state rights. Alex Jones was also a part of that mindset. Those who want to make the world a better place. Okay? Colonists who sought to free themselves from British rule. And it goes on anti-GAY, the Patriot movement, anti-Muslim. You're about family, Christian, conspiracy, all of this stuff. If you're talking about camps, FEMA camps. I mean, it goes on and on. Army of God. Right-wing, believe in sea theories. I mean, anti-Catholic, which Catholic means universal. So there you go. I mean, you can look that list up, and you can clearly see how the Israelites are eventually, because there's going to be many people who are linked into this. It's not just going to be the Israelites, but we know that's their plan, according to what? Biblical prophecy. Okay, their plan is to come after the those who have this truth. Okay, the enemy's going to come like a flood. Revelation 12. All right, we always bring this out. And 17, the dragon, the revival of Rome. Okay. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High God and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. You see that? All of these unrighteous decrees we see being formulated are aimed, all right, at them ultimately making war with the remnant and coming after us. And they're going to be met, all right, with what? A standard. Yeah, they'll get a few of us because that's a part of our particular trial and faith. All right, the scriptures say he would throw particular of us in prison. Some of us are going to be beheaded, all right, because you got particular men saying none of the elect are going to take a physical death. Well, when you read Revelation 20, it says those who were beheaded. Okay, let's get that real quick. It's already past the hour. I mean, damn, I got so much to bring out. Revelation 20 and 4, and I saw the thrones and they that sat up on them, the rulers that's going to rule with Yahweh Shai, as he promised them, you're going to sit on thrones and judge at my table, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness, the testimony of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received their mark, all right, upon their foreheads or in their hands, in their foreheads or in their hands, all right. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years, all right. And that's going to be the first dominion, the throne of David, all right, where you heathen will be subdued. But as you can see, there's some of those who, all right, refuse this system and have particular talking points are going to be beheaded. Okay. It's going to be a legislation passed to where they'll be justified in doing that. And fret not, as the scriptures say. It's all right. If that's your sacrifice, you take it manfully. All right? Or as a believer in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you ultimately, hey, it is what it is. All right? We know there's no actual thing as death. That spirit is going to go to the Father. You're going to have that new body, and you're going to be cheering on those who are down here that are going to eventually be beamed up. There's no way to lose. Okay? There's no way to lose. So you have to, the faith, has to be at the forefront of your belief. You got to believe these things. You have to have faith on another level. Okay? So real quick, I want to play this as well, and then I'm going to play another one, and then we'll end it off.
This video should help those of you out there who are new to this, who aren't waking up or haven't woken up yet. And for those of you out there who are awake, this will help you, definitely should help you wake up some friends, because I pieced things together from the narratives of what's going on, the massive distraction that's going on right now with Donald Trump, which is all part of the divide and conquer agenda. They know that mind control is a technique that needs to be implemented 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they know that through repetition, they can constantly program and control people.
And we just read that, okay? They inculate, they teach diligently, okay? They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. This is the serpent. Remember when you get Revelation, the 12th chapter, the 20, he's called that old serpent. This is the serpent. It wasn't a snake. When you look the root word of nachash was for serpent, it means a diviner, a witch. All right, the one who practices witchcraft. This man is a big, gigantic witch, and he uses the power he's been given on the left-hand side through media and everything else, technology, to trick people. See? They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Keep me, O Lord, Psalms 140:4, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man. These are prayers that we need to be throwing up. See? Who have proposed to overthrow my goings. All right? Now, this is David. Now, we're the house of David. The proud have hid a snare for me. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, you Edomites. In cords they have spread, all right, a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. This is all traps. Okay, these are all snares they're setting to ultimately come after us. Let's go back here to my man Call for an Uprising, or A Time for Judgment. He's changed his name.
You probably hear people say things in your day-to-day life that make no sense. They'll say things, if you say something to them, they're like, it is what it is. Or if somebody does something, they go, you deserve it. These are all things that are programmed into people from repetition. The narrative with the left and right, they are programming both sides. I'm going to show you the clips. Now, most of you are familiar with the Sinclair broadcasting clip, where you see that all the news anchors all talk off the same script. There's a reason for it. It's a controlled narrative. These editors who write these scripts are people that you'll never see and never know who they are. They're people, though, who are billionaires, millionaires, who will be at the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg meetings. They won't be people in the front lines like the Bill Gates of the world who have now decided to become faces of what's going on. These are the people who control the narrative. They work together with those other people, but nobody thinks about the news and how all of these people, and celebrities as well, because the celebrities are being used and using the same talking points I'm about to show you. Nobody thinks about any of this stuff. They just see the news, they listen, and they think it's some original writing, or the people on the news, whether it's the actual news or it's the people on the news who are supposed to be like me, in a sense, like they're just talking about stuff. Like, here's the topic I'm talking about. It's all scripted, and it's all the same script with the same talking points. The talking points are the mind control. Those are the points that they want to continually use over and over to beat into your head. So let's start with the clip from the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which I've used before, so you can just remember this, so you can have an idea of why all these things like a threat to our democracy are all common themes and common sayings that we hear non-stop in our society.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming,
You can look up Operation Mockingbird. This is a tactic. Clearly, you know, they know the mind. The heart is deep. They study the mind. They know how to manipulate people. They know how to turn people against themselves. They know how to turn people against one another. Okay, that's all that's happening. Okay, but they have a clear agenda in stopping a particular talking point.
All the different mediums of media. They use it on the news, then they have celebrities come out and tweet it and say it in interviews, and it continues on, and then people just start saying it. Like when you hear a song on the radio, right? You might not even like the song. You might find yourself later that day, though, singing it in the shower or just humming it to yourself. And you're like, you don't even realize it. Sometimes you might wear blah, blah, blah. And then the other side is now you have the Republicans saying, defund the FBI, get rid of the FBI. When in reality, this is what the government wants. This is what the FBI wants. This is what the CIA wants. They want to destroy the FBI, the CIA, the government itself. It's all going to be gone. That's the whole Phoenix rising out of the ashes mindset. Everything is going to be destroyed. Order out of chaos. All these things. So, yes, the people at the FBI know what's going on. They're the ones who are creating this. They're not creating the raid at Trump. They're creating this. They're creating this mind control over the masses. Them and the Central Intelligence Agency, all these agencies. They're creating this on purpose. They're fine with destroying their agencies. They're all okay with it. They're all in on it. Because this has to happen for them to get what they want, not for us to get what we want. Remember, problem, reaction, solution. So here's the above the law narrative.
Whatever your opinion of Donald Trump, we can all agree no one is above the law.
It is. You don't want to let a former president get away with crimes, right? Because nobody in America is above the law.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has said in recent weeks more than once that no one is above the law, including anyone who happened to be president.
An ex-president is not above the law. There's no person in this country who's above the law.
In America, nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law, not even a president or a former president of the United
And if they're able to do that to Trump, what the hell you think they're going to be able to do to you?
States.
So there's your predictive program if they're above the law, right? Above the law, above the law, above the law. So then what ends up happening is you go somewhere and politics or whatever comes up, some idiot who has no idea what's going on will repeat that. They'll say, nobody's above the law, though. They won't even realize that they're saying it. You'll say, hey, well, this stuff's kind of crazy that the government's, agencies are being used against the, people with that and blah, 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 right? And then they'll go, nobody's above the law, though, even Trump, right? And these people just don't realize that they're created in the FBI, the CIA, the IRS can come to your door and do this to you. So don't forget about that. Here is the Banana Republic, they're coming for you narrative that the Republican side pushes.
These things are what happen in banana republics or...
Most Americans now, by the way, in both parties, believe we're living in a banana republic.
As of this moment in time, 21st century America under Joe Biden is no better than a banana republic.
This is an abomination.
This is Gestapo crap.
It's probably the worst day in the history of the FBI.
This is a wake-up call for those in Congress to be able to use the tools at their disposal to defund the FBI, dismantle the FBI into 1,000 bits.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene simply tweeting, defund the FBI.
If this is what they're able to do to the former president of the United States, think about what they could do to you, to anybody in America.
The real target of this investigation isn't Trump. The real target of this investigation is you.
Do we have a dual justice system in America? Is there equal justice under the law?
I am deathly afraid for Donald Trump.
I would not put assassination behind these people.
We're entering basically a Venezuelan, Zimbabwean, East German style banana republic.
Banana republic. So there is no right side to this. Both sides are fully under my control. I've said this before. If I was
and ultimately the elect, those who have the gospel, okay, because there's truth being spoken in particular these talking points, but it's all for their agenda. But we know very well, all right, what Yahweh Bashim Shah is having done, all right, the civil unrest, and this is leading to, okay, as we told you, more staged events, okay, that they're going to use to pass these decrees.
What's going on, guys? Dabu7 here. Checking in. Want to talk a little bit about what's unraveling right here in front of us. I foresee a series of staged events that are about to break loose, connected with some of the stuff that we've already seen, all tied in to the stuff around Trump. Them going to his place in Mar-a-Lago, taking 11 sets of what they want to say is classified material. We've since seen several staged events, one being at the FBI headquarters in Cincinnati, where a guy showed up with a weapon. They said that they had a shootout with him. All this other stuff, we have seen no video proof of any of these things. They also want to say that a dirty package, an explosive, was to be planted somewhere. Where's the proof? Again, besides just saying it. There's never any proof offered up about this. There's never showing us, well, why didn't you go arrest the person? If you knew that someone was going to do this and you were watching them the whole time, why didn't you stop it? How come that never happens? Huh? How come these guys always seem to have connections back to agents? Well, it seems to me that they've already started the ball rolling. And I would say get ready for a bunch of staged events that are designed to tear this country apart, to send this thing towards civil war all in all. That's what they want. That's what they're trying so hard to try to get out here. And I got to give it to the people out there that have not fell for their tricks thus far. They keep wanting to fall back on saying that these people are going online, calling for violence, citing January 6th. Again, if you knew who these people were, then why didn't you deal with them? It's hard for me to believe that alphabet gangs that sit there and monitor social media 24/7 around the clock don't have the ability to do that when they're...
So that's that. And then this is another one.
Tonight, outrage from right-wing groups and Trump-aligned Republicans after federal agents searched the former president's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida.
So I think every Republican believes that the FBI, when it comes to Trump and other organizations, have lost their mind.
Some of Trump's online supporters going as far as threatening to wage a civil war, while elected officials are promising revenge on the Department of Justice and FBI. Republican Arizona Representative Paul Gosar tweeting that he will support a complete dismantling and elimination of the FBI, an agency headed by a Trump appointee, Christopher Wray. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy adding that, quote, when Republicans take back the House, we'll conduct immediate oversight of the Justice Department. The strong reaction from Trump allies coming after FBI agents executed a court-authorized search warrant.
Hey, don't mind me. Just getting ready for my IRS audit. I know this is about to come. Listen, I'm just like you. I've seen what happened to Trump. Yeah, it's go time. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Democrat Nazis have gone too far. Just look at what they've said in the Senate in the past. Look at all the ammunition the IRS is buying up. Look at the new classification they come out with the MVEs. I fit that description quite nicely. Yeah, if you followed me on my other account, follow me on this one as well. Don't let them shut me up. Every time I come across one of you who have lost your account due to the Democrat Nazis on the Democrat Nazi app, I follow you.
What are you gonna do when the government comes knocking on your door asking for your guns, people? I know us here in the South, we ain't gonna back down. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no.
Please come and try.
350 is a bill in the House. Good morning, TikTok. Nothing funny about this post. HR 4350 is a bill in the House that they have already passed. It lets the Democrats put Biden as a dictator over military and everything, which means Biden will go into martial law. When we go into martial law, they're only coming after conservatives and people trying to save America. This is no longer a joke. There's nothing funny about this.
Thank God I seen your video this morning, because I would have totally forgotten. See, here in Kentucky, a strange thing is happening too. Look at that phenomenon up there. It's Jesus behind the clouds.
Hypothetical question. If Chinese and Russian troops start falling out of the sky, how about a hypothetical second option? What if the American people are in the process of overthrowing the tyrannical government that our government has become?
So it's all leading to what they want, civil war. People online, they're going to gather together. It's going to fulfill this. All right. Let's see here. Woo. Let's get second address, the 15th chapter. And the 14th verse, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able to, because of their pride, so the cities be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. These are all of the things that are coming down the pipe, you see, in order for them to bring their NWO, as well as other things that they're trying to shut off. Okay, and again, we didn't get into it, but you have this guy as well, members of the Uhuru African Socialist Party. They were raided by the FBI. Okay. And when you listen to their talking points, these are particular things that can be linked to us. All right. But the point was made, may Yahweh Bashem Yashai be with us, and Lord willing, we'll be back with more edification. Shalom.